Hello, today we'll be talking about Drifblim, the first ghost flying type evolution, being the evolution of Drifloon who evolves at level 28. Its previous BYC dates are April 27th, 1997, February 16th, 2000, December 7th, 2002, September 27th, 2005, July 18th, 2008, May 9th, 2011, February 27th, 2014, December 18th, 2016, October 9th, 2019, and July 30th, 2022. I most know Drifblim from Pokepark Wii Pikachu's Adventure, where it transports the player Pikachu between the zones of the Pokepark. Now let's get into the Bulbapedia article. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Before we begin, I should probably acknowledge the new microphone setup. So yes, I have a new microphone and this nice arm here. That should help me reduce the noise. The anime still has the old microphones, but this will be the microphone we'll use going forward. Anyway, today we'll be talking about Drifblim, the blimp Pokemon, whose number is 0/426. This is what it looks like. Its type is Ghost Fly. Abilities: Aftermath or Unburden. Flare Boost is its inability. Gender ratio is 50-50. Catch rate is 60 or 14.8%. Breeding is a group Amorphous. Hatch time 30 cycles. Height is 3'11" or 1.2 meters. Weight is 33.1 pounds or 15 kilograms. Base experience yield is 204 in Gen 4 and 174 in 5+. Leveling rate is fluctuating. EV yield is 2 and HP. Shape is that. It has no feet, so it has no footprint. Pokedex color is purple and base friendship is 70. Drifblim is a dual-type ghost/flying Pokemon introduced in Gen 4. It evolves from Drifloon starting at level 28. Biology: Drifblim is a Pokemon that has a large spherical purple body with the lower quarter of its body being a lighter purple. The colors are separated by a repeated semicircular pattern all around its body. On the top of its head is a puffy white mass which closely resembles a cloud. In the center of its body is a large yellow X mark, and on either side, just above the X, are its small red eyes. On the lower portion of its body are 4 long, thin arms that extend diagonally in 4 different directions. Its arms are tipped with yellow and have 3 short points each. The bottom of its body narrows into a short red extrusion that fans slightly outward. Drifblim's body contains souls said to be burdened with regrets. These souls serve as fuel for Drifblim's gas. Drifblim is strong enough to lift people or Pokemon, but has no control over its flight. This causes it to drift with the wind and end up anywhere. It can, however, inflate and deflate itself with gas to control its altitude. It is rarely active during the day, but usually gathers in groups during the evenings. When noticed, the groups will suddenly vanish to unknown locations. Drifblim preys on Clamperl. There are rumors of Drifblim carrying people to the afterlife. As well, there have been songs or poems dedicated to Drifblim due to people admiring its transient, melancholy aspect. Drifblim and its pre-evolved form, Drifloon, are the only known Pokemon that can have Flare Boost as an ability. Prior to Gen 5, this was also true for Unburden. Evolution: Drifblim evolves from Drifloon, so Drifloon, Drifblim. Game data: Pokedex entries. In Gen 4 Diamond,
it's drowsy in daytime, but flies off in the evening in big groups. No one knows where they go.
Pearl,
it carries people and Pokemon when it flies, but since it only drifts, it can end up anywhere.
Platinum,
at dusk, swarms of them are carried aloft on winds. When noticed, they suddenly vanish.
Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
It can generate and release gas within its body. That's how it can control the altitude of its drift.
In Gen 5, Black and White is Platinum's entry. Black 2 and White 2.
They carry people and Pokemon, but the wind can catch them, so there can't be a fixed destination.
In Gen 6, X is Pearl's entry, Y is Diamond's entry. Omega Ruby is Pearl and X's entry, and Alpha Sapphire is Pearl and Y's entry. In Gen 7, Sun,
there was once an incident in which a man took a trip riding a Drifblim, only to go missing.
Moon,
even while under careful observation, large flocks of Drifblim flying at dusk will inexplicably disappear from view.
Ultra Sun,
there's a rumor that if you catch a Drifblim floating on the wind at dusk, you'll be carried away to the afterlife.
Ultra Moon,
the raw material for the gas inside its body is souls. When its body starts to deflate, it's thought to carry away people and Pokemon.
In Gen 8, Sword,
some say this Pokemon is a collection of souls burdened with regrets, silently drifting through the dusk.
Shield,
it grabs people and Pokemon and carries them off somewhere. Where do they go? Nobody knows.
Brilliant Diamond,
they're drowsy in daytime, but fly off in the evening in big groups. No one knows where they go.
Shining Pearl is its Pearl counterpart. Legends Arceus,
it drifts along at dusk, perfectly silent. Its transient, melancholy aspect touches some people deeply. Every so often, one will come upon a song or poem devoted to Drifblim. In Gen 9, Scarlet is Heart Gold and Soul Silver's entry. Violet is Black 2 and White 2's entry. Drifblim in the Alola Pokedex, and Drifblim in the Paldea Pokedex. So you can see 4 of them floating on the wind here, and just like Drifloon, you can actually see the mouth on the model rather than this one. Game locations, side game locations, and events. Held items in Black 2 and White 2, it has the Air Balloon. In the Dark Grass only, 1% of the time. In Legends Arceus, normal, it has the Bugwort, 35% of the time. Vivichoke, 15% of the time. And Grit items by level. Alpha, EXP Candy M, 100% of the time. Seed of Mastery, 20% of the time. And Grit items by level. I still don't know how the math works. Stats, base stats, HP 150, attack 80, defense 44, special attack 90, special defense 54, speed 80 for a total of 498. Pokeathlon stats. Type effectiveness, damaged normally by normal, steel, fire, water, psychic, dragon, and fairy. Weak to rock, ghost, electric, ice, and dark. All for double, immune to normal, fighting, and ground. Resistant to poison and grass for a half and bug for a fourth. Notes, if Foresight or Older Sleuth is used by an opponent, the Pokemon has Scrappy, or this Pokemon is given a ring target, the effectiveness of normal type moves is 1, and the effectiveness of fighting type moves is half. So normal moves would go from 0 to 1, and fighting moves would go from 0 to half. If gravity is in effect, this Pokemon is given an Iron Ball or a ring target, or is affected by Smackdown or Ingrain. The effectiveness of ground-type moves is 1, so go from 0 to 1. Learn set by leveling up. We'll do this Evo here, and then go down to 28, so upon evolution, it gets Phantom Force, 31... Self-Destruct, 36 Destiny Bond, 42 Baton Pass, 48 Tailwind, and 54 Explosion. By TM we're skipping, by Breeding we're skipping, nothing by Prior Evolution. TCG only moves. Whirlwind on this card. Side game data, got all this. Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Olmia in the browser entry. It launches eerie orbs to attack. Guardian Signs. To attack, it spits out orbs imbued with loathsome emotions that make Pokemon tired. Got all this. Pokepark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure in the Pokepark Bat entry. Drifblim can carry you to many zones. Drifloon are taken care of in the Haunted Zone and the Granite Zone. Pokepark 2, Wonders of Beyond in the Pokepark Bat entry. Drifblim have a network all over Pokepark. They can take Pikachu and his pals anywhere. Got all this. New Pokemon Snap in the Photodex entry. Drifblim float around as they please during the day, but at night they drift off to who knows where. Apparently, some of the Clamperl they've carried away are still missing. Pokemon Sleep. Drifblim has a habit of carrying people and Pokemon. Apparently, some Drifblim can't sleep peacefully without holding onto something. Big Loop Sleep, Floating Sleep, and Pacifying Sleep. Has the Poké Doll. That's cute. Costumes in Pokemon Go. Halloween Mischief. This fun little thing that has a hat on the top of the cloud thing. It's fun. Evolution data. Drifloon, level 28. Drifblim. Sprites here, so darker colors overall. Actually, like not that grayish purple. Just sort of light purple. That's interesting. So it's yellow, blue, and green for the shiny here. Different model. The eyes I think are bigger. The X I think is bigger. This is a lot less outlined. It looks like the bottom is a lot smaller. That's interesting. In Gen 5, you get the full back sprites. In Gen 6, you get the models and the modern colors. Oh, it like makes it a cream color. Oh, for the shiny. That's interesting. In Gen 7, not really much changes. I think the eyes might change a little bit. In Gen 8, you get the much better models. In Legends Arceus, you get these models. Homes, you got these models. Other sprites, Looney in Pokemon Super Contests. So I imagine this is an NPC in Pokemon Super Contests. In animation, Drifblim in Pokemon Journeys the series. You can see a few of them with bunch of Drifloon here. Fantina's Drifblim is the big one. Got all these. Pokedex entries in Diamond and Pearl, episode 93 in Dawn's Pokedex. Drifblim, the blimp Pokemon, and the evolved form of Drifloon. Because it travels on wind currents, Drifblim's movements are unusual and unpredictable. In the manga, Drifblim and Pokemon Adventures, with Fantina here. Got all this. Pokedex entries in Pokemon Adventures, Chapter 370. Drifblim, the blimp Pokemon. It carries people and Pokemon when it flies, but since it only drifts, it can end up anywhere. Got this in the TCG. Trivia. Drifblim has the highest HP base stat of all Flying-type Pokemon, and is tied with Giratina for the highest HP base stat of all Ghost-type Pokemon. I read the second point and the sub-point in the Drifloon video. Drifblim is tied with Bronzong as the most common Pokemon found, amongst Elite Four members being used by 4 of them. Origin, Drifblim appears to be based on a hot air balloon. The yellow shape around its mouth resembles a puncture bandage, its mouth being the puncture. The white puff on its head resembles a cloud, and its forearms pose as the rigging connected to the balloon's basket. It also resembles the box jellyfish, specifically the Carokia barnesi. May also be based on space jellyfish, also known as atmospheric jellyfish, an atmospheric phenomenon caused by rocket launches that are often mistaken for cryptids or UFO sightings. As a concept of a ghost-type balloon, it may have been inspired by some Caden ghost stories where ghosts and spirits have been compared to balloons. Name origin, Drifblim may be a combination of drift and blimp. Fuoride may be a combination of fuafua, soft, airy, and light, or an onomatopoeia for floating, fusin, balloon, and ride, as well as a pun on fuorido, following others blindly, and other languages, related articles, external links. Let's move on.
Now let's watch Drifblim's first scene in the anime.
Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. Today, we are watching The Rise of Darkrai. In this film, Ash Ketchum, the main character, traveling companions Brock and Dawn, as well as its faithful Pokemon Pikachu here, have met Alice and her Chimchar, and she's taking them to Alamos Town in her hot air balloon here. There's the Drifblim and a bunch of Drifloon. Yeah, they're going down. And that is Drifblim's first scene in the anime. Let's move on.
Now let's see why other people love Drifblim. Now let's look at fan art.
Hello and welcome to the fan art section of the video. Nobody sent in fan art, so instead we're looking at DeviantArt fan art. For those of you who aren't familiar with the series, what we do is we go through these images until we find an image that doesn't contain a Drifblim. This is Old Poof the Drifblim by Boutsel. So this nice Drifblim image here. It's holding this staff here. Very interesting. Old Poof the Drifblim commission by Boutsel. So this nice image here kind of looks like one of the dialogue images in the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. Seems to be from October 11th, 2015, November 10th, 2015, November 15th, 2010, or October 15th, 2011. We've got Fio Evo by Boutsel. So we kind of were introduced to this one yesterday. It's their Drifloon character that I guess evolves into a Drifblim. As a Drifloon, it had Shadow Ball, Constrict, Air Cutter, and Will-O-Wisp. But as a Drifblim, it has Acrobatics, Shadow Ball, Body Slam, and Will-O-Wisp. Very well done. Then we've got Old PMD Blim Fio by Boutsel. So this art of the Drifblim Fio here. Very well done. And we've got Old Chloe by Boutsel, so another Drifblim character here. So it has a Drifloon and a Drifblim, yeah. Then this doesn't contain a Drifblim, so we'll move on.
Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Baneri. As always, this isn't my proper outfit, you'll see me tomorrow.